All right, so compliance. We discussed compliance. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I think everyone here has already gone through the compliance factors. But there's the area inside of Merchant Center that is obviously really, really important, and that's in this the business information here. The business information, this is, again, the number one reason for a non-compliance issue. This here, the verified, is actually recent, so we went through the verification process already during our call. But for anybody that has an older GMC, this one being unverified is not an issue. Doesn't mean that it won't become an issue in the future. So this is something that we have to get up and running. But this is for a company called OFG Products. This is just going to be something that compliance is always going to be obviously an issue, but making sure they have at least 2 of the 3 pieces of information on the site for contacted, or email, phone, physical address, 2 of those 3. Interesting part too is sometimes people are like, and I saw that in the 3x Shopify Facebook, it says I had the three pieces of contact information on my site, and it still got a suspension for not being compliant. The interesting part is Google, since it is a bot, it's going to scan, it's going to identify any areas that it can. The best way is something that is what they call in your sitemap. So if it's a clickable link, like let's say you have a privacy policy, but the privacy policy is on the sites in, it's not a clickable button, but it's in your sitemap, Google may miss that. So I always like to have, for compliance, just especially in the beginning, you're saying, hey, I don't want people emailing me, I don't want people knowing my physical address, and I don't want people calling me. Place it on the contact page for a small amount of time, just until you're up and running. Then you can move that away and move it into policy, like a privacy policy. It's like, any privacy policy concerns, please contact me at blah blah blah. Like, that's enough to overturn an appeal. It's not always. Again, Google, we always have a joke in here, Solutions 8, that says the only thing consistent about Google is their inconsistencies. There's never really hard, fast rules with Google. It's just up to their discretion. So to play by their vague rules, we kind of, we do a little bit of overkill, where we try to place all 3 items on the contact page until it's up and running. Then you can move it off. That's going to be something that is a good indicator. If you have a Google My Business, if you're a local brick and mortar location as well, a good practice is linking up your Google My Business to Google Ads. And to link up the Google My Business with Google Ads, let me go ahead and share my screen if no one has done this yet. And we're going to cover this a little bit more when we take a deeper dive. But I don't even know if this one has a Google My Business, actually. You want to go into the extensions tab here. They used to be linked accounts back in the day, but as an extensions, and then do we have one here? We don't even have one on this one. This is an e-commerce store. You don't need to have it, but I'll pull one up that actually has a few physical locations. This is a restaurant group. Of course, Google Ads has an error. Let me just see if I can get that away. This location extension here, and I just built a location group, and then I have all of the Foley and Pokemon and that kind of stuff, and I have all the locations here. But if you have a location extension that is that has the physical address, that's a good way to move past any sort of non-compliance issue. It's kind of like doubling down on that. It's an overkill approach to compliance. If you have a Google My Business, has all your contact information there, your website, all that stuff, link it as a location extension is a good way to make sure that you can be compliant. Now, if you don't have a brick and mortar location, I don't recommend this, because if you start a Google My Business and you just use the address of your home, Google will take a street view of your house and place it on the Google My Business as the main image. So your house will be the main image for your Google My Business. Sometimes that's a little bit too personal. So not something that you need to do, but with compliance, again, only initially. We like, it's funny, we have a weird inside saying here called kill it with fire, where like, hey, let's just make sure that everything is as transparent as possible so that we can bypass any sort of questionable compliance issues, and then make sure that we're up and running there.